Now today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the deck flip, and if you like to know how to do all sorts of cardistry moves, this is the channel for you. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you can be notified when those videos drop. And let's get into this cardistry tutorial right now. So obviously you're going to start, just like I just said, in mechanics grip, which means your index finger is going to be on the top, your middle, ring, and pinky will be on the bottom, and your thumb will be across the left side. You will want a little bit of the top part of your thumb to be actually on top of the deck and not completely on the side of the deck, though you'll be able to put a little bit of pressure here. Now, to actually be able to do the move, you're going to move your index finger over to the left side, and I do this a little bit differently than most, but I move my middle finger down underneath instead of my index finger. What most people do is they bring their index finger here, and it's usually a little bit to the outside, and they're flicking out. Now when I do it, I do the same thing, but I do it with my middle finger. The reason I like this more is it's more centered to the deck. That way, if it's my index finger, I find that it's more likely that it's going to turn back to me instead of flipping over directly sideways. So I've found that this makes it a little bit easier when doing that. So I curl under my middle finger and just place this on the inside of the deck about right there. The next thing I do is convert my thumb to a little bit above the deck to make sure it doesn't go forward either. And I bring it up here just like this. So now this is going to be my grip from the top. Once you have this, make sure you put pressure down with 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your middle finger is just going to pop out just like this, putting pressure upwards on the deck. And as you do this, you're going to release with these other 4, and that will then flip the deck over, looking like this. One thing that will more than likely happen to you is you will have a card fly out just like this rascal. A couple reasons that might be happening. Number one, that means your hands might be a little bit sweaty. The drier your hands are, the easier this move will actually become. Number two, you might be using a newer deck. Yes, this is a newer deck, and that's just because I've been practicing this move for a long time. But in all fairness, this deck needs to be all clumped together. So if you're using an older deck, this might actually be more helpful for you. And a lot of times I get asked in the comments section, hey, I live in a place with high humidity and high heat. What's a good move to do with my cards? And now you have an answer. Make sure you're doing the deck flip. Another one is making sure you're actually shuffling the cards up. So if you have one card sitting on the top of the deck for too long, so let's say right here it's the King of Diamonds, and the King of Diamonds always ends up back on top if I'm doing a bunch of false cuts or whatever the thing is. If this sits on top for too long, or if one sits on the bottom for too long, the humidity is going to end up getting to that card and making it bevel a little bit more than the rest. It's going to have a little bit more of a bend in it. And if it's bent more here, and these cards are only bent here, that is going to mean that then that card's going to probably end up flying off. And a good way to know if you're really ready for the deck flip is to see if you can do it 4 times in a row. Now, one thing I've noticed that I do is go back and forth from hand to hand every time. And I don't know if it's just to square up the cards or if it's just because I have ADHD, but that's something that I do just about every time. And fair warning, for those of you who are obsessive with different card moves and have something that you have to have to fidget with, this one will probably end up being one of your new fidget moves. Make sure that the deck is completely squared up. As I did in the intro, I did this move that I'll be releasing with my Kickstarter in a few months. But I did this move right here called Ground Zero, and then I just switched it over. Now, as you can see, as I switched that over, all the cards came out and aren't perfectly square. So if I try to do it right now before squaring it up, the cards are going to split into different packets. That does make it a lot more difficult. Now, if the cards are all squared up just like this, it's going to make it a lot easier. As soon as I switch that over to the other side, I'm going to get a nice clean deck flip. If you did like that cardistry tutorial, please make sure to smash the like button. And if you want to pick up the playing cards that I used, you can pick those up in the description for 10% off using code cardperfectmagician. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.